Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Well, there it is. I guess there's the inevitable, total, utter defeat for Cracker Barrel. After all the smug talk and the smug dismissals that the backlash was just a very loud minority, just a right-wing overreaction, well, I guess reality has finally settled in, as Cracker Barrel has now caved in spectacular fashion. A full 180 reversal. They initially doubled down and said they were going to keep the new logo, but now 24 hours later, they've completely flipped. I guess all the reporting I did on the empty parking lots and empty restaurants wasn't fake news as the left was suggesting. We've got yet again another massive cultural victory to add to the list. Let me give you guys the latest update in this victory, but before we get into any of it, this video is actually brought to you guys by a sponsor, so let's first play that clip. This video is brought to you by Raycon. So between researching, editing, recording, and just trying to catch a break every now and then, or of course sometimes getting some exercise, the schedule can get packed up, life can get pretty hectic. But one thing's for sure, no matter what I'm doing, I need to stay tuned in, I need to stay connected to what's going on across the globe and all the different discussions online. And I gotta tell you, I wouldn't be able to do that without Raycon's Everyday Earbud Classics. The simple truth is they've earned a spot in my inventory. I've been using these earbuds to stay tuned for 4 or 5 years at this point. And I gotta tell you, I actually really love them. And well, today Raycon's here with a new announcement. They just dropped a new version of the Everyday Earbud Classics with the same iconic look except now with active noise cancellation. That's the one piece of tech that these earbuds were missing, and now they've upped the ante by having it built in. We're talking premium earbuds with all the little details at a fraction of the price of other premium earbuds. 8 hours of battery life straight plus 32 more with the charging case, premium audio quality, touch functions, multiple gel tips to fit your ear. It's just a great product at a great price. And best of all, thanks to this partnership with Raycon, you can take advantage of a 20% off sale by simply clicking the link down below in the description. That's buyraycon.com/hivemind, or simply scan the QR code on screen. That's 20% off, folks. Support the businesses that support the channel. A huge thank you to Raycon. Now back to the video. Alright folks, so we recently learned that Cracker Barrel dumped $700 million into this idiotic rebrand, a new logo, a new modernized look, and at first we know they doubled down. They told us that they weren't backing off. The reaction from all the managers was overwhelmingly positive.
Overwhelmingly positive.
Then of course, ish hit the fan, and so Cracker Barrel was forced to issue a response, but even in that response, they doubled down. They told us the old timer wasn't coming back, they were keeping the new logo. And then, well, 24 hours later, poof, scrapped, gone. A full reversal. Take a look at this post right over here. We thank our guests for sharing your voices and love for Cracker Barrel. We said that we would listen, and we have. Our new logo is going away, and our old timer will remain. At Cracker Barrel, it's always been and always will be about serving up delicious food, warm welcomes, and the kind of country hospitality that feels like family. As a proud American institution, our 70,000 hardworking employees look forward to welcoming you to the table soon. A full-on reversal. Honestly, it's quite shocking, especially when you think about the staggering amount of money that they've spent. They spent $700 million on this rebrand, and now all of that money is wasted, down the drain. They tried propping it up with their PR gaslighting campaign, but it's not gonna work. We're sick of the woke. People do not want woke anymore. And of course, I know the left will tell you, oh, well, there was nothing woke about the rebrand. Well, we've already tackled that, and if you need any more proof, just look at the marketing executives who are at the helm.
Last year, we have been very transparent about our transformation platform. And one of our strategies is really centered on that physical guest experience. And we've spent the last year testing and concepting various levels of remodels. All of these various levels have been rooted in our brand DNA. They've been rooted in guest feedback, and it's all about evolution with intentionality. We've been very transparent about our goal of making our stores feel brighter and even more welcoming than they already are, while maintaining that country hospitality and charm that we're known for. So when it comes to the overall experience, what you can rely on is items like our rocking chairs, our biscuits, our peg games, antiquities on the wall. None of that is going away. We're just looking at ways to freshen up the experience so that we can open our door a bit wider for more guests. And when we think about what we're trying to do, it really is, again, about listening to what the guests ask for and what the guests and Examples of what the guests ask for are things like spaces that feel brighter, that feel less cluttered, more booth seating, more seating options, so our guests are more comfortable while they're dining with us. But again, it really is about taking that feedback and testing into various levels of remodels that, again, represent exactly who we are, but create a more brighter, lighter, fresher experience.
Now, she didn't necessarily say anything explicitly woke, but it's the culture, right? Obviously, a big city liberal with hardcore vocal fry. You know, the more vocal fry, the more woke. It's almost like the septum ring theory. Oh my God, Donald Trump is so racist. And so I hope companies are paying attention here. The more vocal fry, the thicker the glasses. If you are hiring people who look like Mark Cuban, you are going to lose nearly $1 billion. Mark my freaking words. And that's obviously what happened here. A bunch of woke Karens were put in charge of this rebrand. You've already seen 2 characters. Well, here's another. We've got Julia Perry, she, her, VP Marketing Communications at Cracker Barrel. And well, this post right over here basically puts it all into perspective now, doesn't it? Stop hiring these unqualified, out-of-touch, big city Karens. And most importantly, take a hint, and at this point it really shouldn't be hard to gather, that woke is dead. Wokeism, wokeness is gone. It's out the window. And you know what? I think this should be the conclusion. This is the bigger truth. What happened yet again here was another cultural verdict. The culture war, especially in the corporate world, is over. We won. For so long, the silent majority was ignored, mocked, dismissed as just a bunch of right-wing bigots in flyover states. But now I think the truth has been revealed. You know, the backlash in these cases is so loud, but not only so loud, but so significant. It has such an effect on their bottom line that it can't be ignored anymore. It can't be dismissed. You know, Bud Light tried it and they got obliterated. Goya Foods faced the left-wing cancel mob in the 2020 election. This massive celebrity-backed boycott against the brand, and what ended up happening? They stood strong in their stances, supported the president, and then their sales exploded. Wake up! We control the culture. We are the culture. The illusion that the woke left represents the majority is gone. You know, sure, the activists and the celebrities are screaming on social media, but in the real world, in the grocery aisles, at the restaurants, in the stores, it's our common sense values that really hold the power. And I think the market has spoken. And the message is, woke simply doesn't sell. We are the cultural mainstream now. The left-wing mob thought that they could bully us, they could shame us, they could slap labels onto us and force compliance, but the tide has turned. And now every boycott, every backlash, every collapsing stock price is another reminder that they have completely lost their power. They overplayed their hand, they went too far, and now America is pushing back. And so the lesson is quite clear to investors and shareholders, to marketing executives and company boards. Mock tradition, erase heritage, push cultural Marxism, spit on our values, and watch your brand collapse right in front of you. It's really simple, folks. It's really all about respect. Respect the consumer, respect the people, respect people's values, respect the value, traditions, and the culture of the country, or face utter rejection from the people that you're basically giving the middle finger to. Anyways, what else can I say other than a W in the win column? Another massive cultural victory. More proof that the left and all of their popular ideas are all astroturfed. Bernie Sanders always going on and on about how the overwhelming majority agree with him and all of his big brain leftist ideas. It's a complete farce. All these botted celebrity accounts trying to push the message. They try to force this stuff into existence. There was never majority cultural support behind anything woke. It was all smoke and mirrors since day one, and now the entire illusion has dissipated. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.